So, Captain Toad, huh? So, yeah, I kind of just, I don't know, I just didn't feel like playing any of the regular games that I streamed. I was like, I want something nice and slow-paced. Captain Toad. Why aren't my headphones working? I want to hear the music, please. Please. Oh yeah, right. I have to go into settings, audio, monitoring. Any good stream. I figured it out. Alright. I think we did all the bonuses. No, we did not. We did not. Alright, well, let's try this one. This should be a nice, slow one. Oh, okay, they can't get hit. That actually changes the dynamic a decent amount. Oh. Okay. I have to be more careful than I thought I did. Where's that zoom in button? I always forget Captain Toad got ported to the 3DS. Like, remember that? The Captain Toad port for 3DS? Wild. Ooh, this... Ooh. No. This works so much better the Joy-Cons. It is just not enjoyable to weirdly tilt around the it works in Mario Galaxy, in like Super Mario 3D All-Stars, but it 100% does not work for this game. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, 90 coins. Boom. Ba, 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 ba. And down in here. Now I have all of them. There we go. And that's that level complete. Da-da. I don't want to do that one. Let's just go to the special DLC. Ooh. That's weird. Oh, Christ! I thought I was gonna die. And that ran out. Oh, damn it. No, 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 no. One. Alright. That's an interesting gimmick. One sec, I want to check if there's a secret mushroom. Doesn't look like it. Come on. Also, YouTube tells me there's one person watching, so I hope you're having a good... There was. Alright, how many places can you hide it? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. I found it. Oh, hello. Yeah, I just didn't feel like doing any of the regular stuff today. So I thought, you know what? Let's go back to Captain Toad. It still baffles my mind, boggles the mind that there was a Captain Toad port for 3DS. Why did they make it? Sure, it's really cool to see a Wii U game running on 3DS with no real gameplay changes. Well, I mean, you know, stuff like Super Mario 3D World, Going Under, Super Mario Maker. I think you mean Get-Go, but no, it was definitely... Ooh, Dragadon's Gold Rush, that sounds cool, but no, you can tell it's made for the Wii U. So there is a decent amount of touchscreen gimmicks. And then they decided to make new DLC for it, which is still wild. Like, they made new DLC for an old game. Oh, well, I think that's a bit reductive. Any game could be a 3DS game. Like, it doesn't matter what platform you're playing it on. Oh. Oh, this is really cool. Like, just because a game is simple, that shouldn't make it, like, any different. I'm not describing this well at all. I mean, as someone who's played the Wii U version, I honestly think it probably still works better on the Wii U. From everything I've seen of it. What did I miss? Yeah, that's there. Whoops. Killed him. Oh, so you can only have 2 at a time. That's intriguing. How do I light this? Whoops. Nope. There we go. Well, I mean, yeah, but Captain Toad, if I'm remembering correctly, was never a $60 game from the get-go. Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of look at that whole thing differently. Because, like, okay, obviously there are some mobile games, mostly nowadays, that are not exactly made with fantastic intentions. But when you look at stuff like the first Angry Birds, or Cut the Rope, they're really good games. They capture a weird arcade feel. Okay, I kind of get what you're trying to say, but on the other hand, I like this conversation, so I'm keeping it going. But anyway, they have that nice arcade feel. Just simple and short. And oh, but I wouldn't say I would not say that this is one of those kinds of games. It's not as snappy is the word that my brain is coming up with for this. Well, I mean, yeah, the gameplay was a ripoff, but the game was still good. And they took it off the App Store. Probably because it wasn't making enough money. It's disgusting. So that's cool. But yeah, I've said it before and I've said it again. Game preservation is sadly becoming less and less easy as time goes on. Now that we're headed into mostly digital. And that's really not good for the industry as an art form. Like, it's really bad. Up by 200 coins, that's a lot of... No, see, it doesn't matter that there's a lot of different ones. It matters that the original is just no longer available to access. Because they just took it off because it wasn't... Most likely, I am technically saying this without evidence, but if the shoe fits, and plus, like, the original one is more artistically valuable? If you get what I'm saying, like, it didn't have, for a long time, it didn't have microtransactions or anything. It was just a game that you paid for. And that's how it used to be. And the modern state of mobile gaming is a damn shame, because, like, no, I'm not talking about, like, art style. I'm talking, like, it was made to be fun and not to make money. But yeah, the state of current mobile gaming is... It really sucks. Like... Just the fact that... games no longer thrive that... Like, remember when there was, like, Monument Valley and games like that? was great. And there was like, where's my water? And then companies realized that, hey, wait, more people will download it if it says free. And then that's not even getting into stuff like gacha, which is inherently kind of predatory because it preys on the human like kind of fear of, oh, but what if I miss out? Which is horrible because like some people like just can't just straight up can't control that. And it's preying on them. And I'm saying this because I spent $70 on a mobile game once. And I deleted it after that. And I refused to name it. But that was not a proud moment realizing, wait. Because it did have some gacha mechanics. That's how it gets ya. And like, boom. And the only gacha game I've ever played after that is Regalia Lost, because they give out summons like candy. Like candy at a parade is the better way to phrase that. But yeah, it's really sad that that's going into like that's now kind of seeping into console gaming, because people have realized, wait a minute, we don't even need, like, if it's a free game, that's still not good. With the exception of games where you pay, like, there are a few games, I have only seen Nintendo do this, but I'm sure there's gotta be more out there, where microtransactions are effectively limited. Like, you reach a certain cap, and that's it. And you can just kind of get the rest of the stuff for free. And that's cool, because it's just a weird kind of way of giving you access to a full game, but there's nothing ethically wrong with it besides the very slight issue of, well, more people are gonna get it because it's free, and they're gonna want, oh man, but if I just pay for it. But at the end of the day, they're essentially just paying for chunks of a regular game. But either way, then you have the one, and again, when it's free, it's sort of understandable, but maybe don't make them free and just make a product that you can pay for, so you don't rely on a predatory business model that will ultimately give your game no lasting merit. I'm looking at you, Genshin Impact, because the game is goddamn beautiful, but it's always I'm never gonna like it because of gacha. I just cannot. I mean, I just find the misleading ads absolutely hilarious, but yes, they do prey on things, on, like, children and stuff like that. You son of a bitch. How many chances do I get? I got it. But anyway. So yeah, predatory. Oh, that really threw off my train of thought. And God, that was such a good rant, I guess? Was that a rant? Sort of? Yeah, I think that just that... I don't know. But either way, no lasting impact. But when it's a $60 game... You've already forced the consumer to pay more. You're putting it at a price point that implies that it is some sort of... I don't know how to phrase it, but you know what I mean. It's like a complete product. But then when you basically just do the same thing as a mobile game, that's scummy as hell. And especially when you partner that with always online games that are gonna straight up just disappear. And I mean, yeah, you can make the argument that nothing's temporary, that, I mean, nothing's permanent, and that everything's gonna be gone someday, but you might want to think a bit more long-term. Okay, how do I... Oh. Okay. But either way, yeah, yeah, it's EA. But I know there are others. I can't name them right now, but I know for a fact. And that's not even mentioning Sony, who right now are doing the making some of the stupidest decisions possible for for preservation. I mean, obviously, some things are never going to be able to be preserved fully, but, and I'm kind of meaning the opposite. Like, there are games like, that, you know, games stop being made, and consumers can, and, like, the regular consumer, but, like, somebody has it, and it's out there, and it's preserved. But Sony's closing the digital store for PS3 and PS Vita and PSP. And Nintendo's not immune to that. They closed down the Wii one. But those are small, and they were archived. And they were all exclusive to it, but there are so many obscure games on PS3. And the Wii Shop channel, they gave us like a year's worth of notice. They gave everybody ample time. Because, I mean, eventually, unfortunately, with digital stuff like that, you've got to cut it off at some point, because ultimately, even though video games are obviously an art form, and if you say they're not, I'm gonna kill you. But anyway, yeah, and if Nintendo doesn't put up a Mario 99, I have not hesitated to call out It's like seeing an uncle, like, retweet Ted Cruz. Like an uncle that you really like, and you're like, oh man, damn it. I thought you were better than this. But anyway, it's just a local man cares about video games, maybe a bit too much. But anyway, the frickin'... They gave people so much time to actually, like, to get any games that they would want. And then they even gave them basically even more time after that. Well, I mean, no, it wasn't a direct. It was just a trailer. But anyway, back to Sony. The new CEO of, like, PlayStation, Jim Ryan, has stated, like, he doesn't understand why people would play old games. And there's a lot of old games on the PS3 stores and stuff like that. Like, there's so many old classics. That were accessible to people, but they now just aren't. They won't be. There was a model of the PSP that was digital only, and now it's gonna be a brick. It's just gonna be a brick. But yeah, he stated he doesn't understand why people would play old games. And now, according to people in the industry who are trustworthy, they're apparently doing a remake of The Last of Us. When it already had a remaster. Like, really? Oh, people don't want to play old games, but yeah, sure. Just give them a new old one. Disney is worse. Disney is so much worse. Don't get me started on Disney. The things they've done to copyright law are disgusting. And having a monopoly that big is horrible for art. But anyway, Jim Ryan doesn't understand why people would play old games. So that's immediately showing a lack of care, of preservation, and the fact that these are art. Even if PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale sucks ass, it's still art. Kind of. But, again, anyway... God, I should just re-upload this whole thing and say crab and toe, but I talk about gaming as an art form and media impermanence. Maybe you'd get more views. But either way, this is what happens when I get myself started. I can talk about this shit for hours. Somebody pay me to do this! I'll do it for as long as you want! But, anyway. Doesn't care about the integrity of art. And they've done stuff like they shut down Japan studios, which made some really cool games that weren't necessarily super popular like The Last of Us. Also, hot take, plot of The Last of Us 2 was decent enough. Y'all were just mad it didn't go the way you wanted it to. And I'm saying this as someone who has literally no attachment to The Last of Us. and has only ever read summaries of the story. But, again, anyway. Doesn't care about the integrity, had to have had something to do with the shutdown. Well, no, Disney, what it's done to copyright isn't necessarily takedowns and stuff. I don't know that much about Disney, but what they've done is they've lobbied Congress to extend public domain, to extend, like, the amount of time it takes until something becomes public domain, which means that old works take so much longer until they can see new spins, and that's bad because we don't get as much new art. I mean, obviously, yeah, copyright's important, but also, when the author has been dead for maybe 30 years, maybe it doesn't matter anymore. But, God, I am... Again, I could talk forever. It doesn't care about it as an art form. I've said this like 30 times. But anyway, it seems to be piloting Sony into not to caring only about what's gonna sell well. And that's why we got mobile games and microtransactions. He's looking at it only as a business. You look at like what he says he likes to do. It's not video games. That's like a painter saying that they don't like looking at paintings. It's not great. Or like the owner of a museum. No, the owner of an art store saying, God, you know what I love? Go-karting. And nothing else. Nothing else. I don't care about painting. But anyway. And so then they're only selling like the most expensive stuff that gets them the most money. Like colored pencils. Why do colored pencils cost so damn much? I don't even draw, but they cost so much. Why do colored pencils cost so much? I don't want them, but why do they cost so much? But anyway, yeah, seems to be going only into profit. And I mean, yeah, I'm a Nintendo guy. I basically only do Nintendo consoles. But, like, I've always liked Sony. Like, I watch a decent amount of Sony content creators. Like, I love Cat Icarus's stuff, and that's where I've gotten most of my exposure to, like, PlayStation games, honestly. But, like, stuff like Vib Ribbon. Vib Ribbon is adorable, it's quirky, it's art. Like, and the previous president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, or PlayStation, or whatever it's called, talked about Vib Ribbon, and he said, like, it wasn't a multi-million seller, but at the end of the day, that's not really what matters. And that is such... Like, that is one of the best things I've heard somebody who technically qualifies as a bit of a corporate mouthpiece say. But anyway... God. PlayStation. Also, yeah, the PlayStation was sort of kind of a weird Super Nintendo. If you look at the controllers, they're basically exactly the same. Like, ever since the Super Nintendo, barely anything has changed. We got one extra trigger button and rumble. and whatever the Wii you want to call the Wii U. And HD Rumble. But yeah, and like another thing that I like with Sony is what they're doing with the PS5 and its haptic. Well, no, Nintendo was making games when Atari was. Nintendo was making games when Atari was also making games. Mario Bros exists for the Atari 2800. But again, I'm getting off track once again, and I'll talk about the Sony PlayStation. I mean, the Nintendo PlayStation, because that's a really weird thing. And it's not as clear-cut as, oh, Nintendo just messed up. Oh, stupid Nintendo. But, again, God, anyways. What was I on this time about? But yeah, and Jim Ryan doesn't seem to care about that, and is only pivoting towards, like, an American audience, which is a damn shame, because Japan has some of the best minds in the industry. And has for a while. Also, nobody talks about Cyberpunk 2077 anymore. That doesn't have anything to do with this. But boy, that game died fast. But anyway, it was hyped up so big. There's like an anime series in development or something. It was supposed to be so big. But yeah, so, yeah. What Sony's doing really sucks. And as someone who doesn't hate PlayStation, because the console wars are stupid, and the people who are into them are stupid, and I'll die on that hill gladly. But yeah, and like I love what Sony is doing with the PS5's haptic feedback. It's just like HD Rumble, and I love it. It's an actual kind of like innovation and immersion and stuff like that. But there's no reason for me to buy a PS5. There's like 3 games, and only one. The only game that interests me on the PS5, there are 2. They're Bugsnax and Astro's Playroom. So there's basically just one game. And that's kind of sad. It's been out. Oh my god, it's been out since November. People still can't buy them. But anyway. Yeah, that's, I guess, kind of the end of my rant on Sony and the video game industry. And mobile gaming. And again, God, I could talk about this for hours. It is... Autistic people get, a lot of the time, well, with my specific brand of autism, usually hyperfixate on one thing, and boy, mine was video games, but mostly Nintendo. And that is why I can talk about it for so long like that. But anyway, so the Sony PlayStation. I mean, damn it. The Nintendo PlayStation, it's so weird. It's so weird to think about. But also, when you look into it a bit, what essentially happened was Nintendo and Sony were like, yo, let's do this thing. Let's make a CD drive for the Super Nintendo. That would have been wild. But Nintendo decided, hey, let's look at our contract one more time. And this is the part where it gets a little fuzzy in my brain, so don't quote me on this. Look it up for yourself. It's really interesting. I promise. But anyway, God, I'm gonna have to put "but anyway" on a t-shirt or something after this. Oh God, I wasn't paying attention. We're under fucking attack. Oh God. But anyway. I'm gonna pause for a bit to keep talking about this. So what Sony did was, essentially the contract gave Sony a decent amount of control over the games that were gonna be on this. And that's not something Nintendo liked. And when you look at what happened with the Philips CDI, they were probably right. Like, obviously, who knows how it would have happened. But, like, you know. But yeah, so, yeah, it might have been the right decision. Like, it legitimately may have been the right decision for them to make. I don't know why the Xbox was made. It was probably just because Microsoft wanted to get into, oh God, that's way bigger than I thought it would be. And now I can just make this pop. Well, I mean, that story sounds plausible enough, but I don't know if it's true. And I don't want to say something that might not be true, so I don't know. But, and to continue onwards. Wait. That was actually kind of the end of that train of thought entirely. I know there's just a lot of urban, like, you know that thing about, I thought this was true for the longest time. You know that thing about, Gandhi and civilization? And how there was a thing about, God, what was I talking about? I immediately forgot. Yeah, no, it's gone. So how about Captain Toad, huh? got surprisingly easy to kind of forget I was playing about this. I was playing this. But yeah, if you have anything you want... Oh yeah! The Civilization Gandhi thing. It turns out the whole myth about how, oh, there was an integer underflow that, like, oh, since computers can't handle negative numbers, he was the most peaceful at 1, and then when you were nice to him, it would go down by 2, and that would make -1, and that would loop up to 255. No, that was false. I mean, they added it into, like, Civilization, like, 3 or 4 or 5 or one of them, eventually. Because by that point, it was a big meme. We're like, huh. But apparently, basically, it was just that there were only really 3 different levels of aggression in Civilization. Also, just so you know, you can't post links in chat. That's just apparent. That's apparently just a thing YouTube chat does, which I do greatly support. Because, God, I have so many bots in my comments that are like, you wanna look at booba? And it's like, no, please. And I just have to delete all of them. All of them. There's too many of them. But anyway, yeah, you can post links in chat. And I've forgotten what I was talking about again. Damn it. Oh yeah, the Gandhi thing. There are only really 3 levels of aggression. So Gandhi did share his aggression level with like 3 other world leaders, which led to him being more aggressive than people would expect. And then it was just kind of exaggeration by the end of it. Because they're still distinctly apart from each other. You can't call them rooms. A better question is, why do we park on driveways and drive on parkways? That's the real question. God, though, I love that meme that's like, apartment complex? I don't know, I find it quite simple. It's so stupid, and I love it to pieces. But yeah, if you have any questions about the video game industry, but not like from a professional, but you don't... If you want words on the video game industry, but you don't want to bother talking to a professional, just ask me. I don't want to brag, but odds actually are I probably know something about it. I didn't even get to see what you said, but okay. I will assume. Nothing. Because that's impolite. And because you know what they say about assuming, it makes an ass out of you and me. But yeah, seriously, any questions? I would be happy to answer them. Because I like talking about it. Because it's cool. Oh yeah, also there's a headline about, like, oh, Japan's releasing nuclear waste into the sea. It's hysteria. They're essentially First of all, they literally have nothing else. There's nothing else they can do with it, and they're honestly actually disposing of it in a safe manner. Like, they're essentially diluting it down over... they're doing this project over decades, but they're diluting it down and down and down to levels that are actually safe. Anyway, yeah, what's the weird rumor? If it's about, like, celebrities or anything like that, I have no idea. I will never know. Will never happen. Mama! No, I didn't get them all. Damn. I think that's the last level for tonight. So if you... just hit me with that. What do you mean Sonic is coming back? He never left. What? Also, I'm gonna assume that's Metroid, and honestly, I haven't heard that rumor before, but it's surprisingly plausible. There was that one time that there was a Sonic Lost World on Wii U had a Zelda level, where Sonic gets the Triforce. Absolutely hilarious. But the real Sonic rumor is apparently there's gonna be a Sonic Colors remaster. Which, hot take, well, okay, it's not really a hot take. It's not. But Sonic Colors on Wii is a 2D game with 3D sections. I mean, again, Sega's crossed over with Nintendo before. Like, Nintendo wouldn't buy Sega. They're not nearly close enough for that. Nintendo likes to buy studios that only make games for them, basically. Like, they bought Next Level Games, which makes sense because they were only making games for Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't own Pokemon, technically. They own a decent portion of it, but they set up a sort of shell company that deals with Pokemon licensing and stuff like that. The Pokemon Company. They literally just called it the Pokemon Company. Like, Game Freak, the people who usually make Pokemon, they made a game with Sega called Tembo the Badass Elephant. It's not on any Nintendo systems that I know of. Maybe there are unofficial ports or something. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. It was fun talking with you, and boy, I talked a lot. I go sleep. But no, they don't technically own Pokemon. For example, there was a decent amount of Pokemon games on mobile before Nintendo said, we're doing our first mobile game. Because, yeah, they only release games on, like... But, like, there are Pokemon games on PC. Oh, if I remember correctly, Nintendo basically laughed Microsoft out of the room. But either way, yeah, there are Pokemon games on PC. And not in, like, there were Nintendo games on PC a while ago. But that was before PC was really the kind of gaming platform it is today. And none of them were full-fledged, but, like, Nintendo would never do that. Nintendo would never release a PC game now But Pokemon's still doing it. They've got, like, the trading card game online. Nintendo does not own Pokemon fully. There would... like, I mean, yeah, Nintendo probably has to say, yeah, it's okay if you do that. But still, they don't 100% own it. But anyway, again... I probably need to get to bed. It was fun talking, and boy, did I talk.